KSI, Logan Paul. What a fight. Who would have thought we'd have that ending? Boxing is a dangerous sport. In the last couple of weeks, 2 professional boxers have died. Patrick Day, who was only 27, and Austrian boxer Dwight Ritchie. This sport is not for the faint-hearted, with big risks being accepted every time you step in that ring. That's why we have to appreciate rather than scold KSI and Logan Paul for entering the ring and putting everything on the line. Both these two are multi-millionaires with successful channels and businesses with no real need to enter the ring than to compete and entertain. The big selling point about this fight versus the last one is the fact that there are no head guards and only 10-ounce gloves. Even though, to the naked eye, these gloves look big, these are the standard for professional fights, and without the head guards, you have not got any extra protection. Before we start, my name is Matthew Faisa, and I'm a third-year medical student from London. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and check out our most recent video on Andre Gomez, a footballer who had a nasty ankle fracture. I'm going to say thank you for all the comments in the last video. It really helped and showed that the video was good and it was worth making. And hopefully this will be too. In this video, we're going to look into the risks associated with boxing and assess how concussion actually occurs. I'm going to dissect the basic anatomy of the head and assess the potential for brain damage. Firstly, let's discuss what concussion is. Concussion is a temporary injury to the brain caused by a bump, blow, or jolt to the head. Features of a concussion include a headache that doesn't go away or isn't relieved with painkillers. Dizziness and vomiting may be experienced with temporary memory loss and confusion, unusual behavior, and acute short-term changes in your vision, such as blurred vision, double vision, or seeing stars. Concussions are classically seen in boxing when someone has been knocked out or struggling to stay awake. However, concussions may also be seen gradually and over a long period of time. Repeated jabs to the head can cause trauma to the brain, as repeated force may cause it to bounce back and forth in the skull. If we look inside the head, the brain is held with the skull inside a liquid called cerebrospinal fluid, also known as CSF. CSF is a fluid produced by a structure called the lateral ventricles and almost as a stabilizer to the brain to absorb shock. As a result, sharp, forceful trauma typically may overcome any stabilization and lead to the brain knocked against the skull. This was seen in the Anthony Joshua Ruiz fight, where Joshua was clipped by Ruiz's hook early in the round behind the ear. Joshua was hit behind the ear in a location where 2 bones meet, temporal bone and the occipital bone. This is a weak spot in the skull and makes fighters susceptible to getting knocked out or at least significantly dazed. Regarding other punches and jabs, typically may cause nosebleeds as they are going to be directed onto the nasal bone either side of the frontal bone. In the worst case of scenarios, there could be a bleed in the brain. This is the most dangerous part of boxing, as this could go undetected and death or severe brain damage may also be on the cards. If not detected and dealt with early enough, Eddie Hearn recently spoke about the improved protection for fighters, noting that Patrick Day was in the ambulance within 15 seconds of getting knocked out. When in hospital, full CT head scans are used to detect any blood in the brain and in between skull layers. The layers in the skull from outside to inside include dura mater, arachnoid matter, and the pia mater. Bleeds in each of these regions present differently on scans. Typically, there are a few types of bleeds that occur. Firstly, an extradural bleed, which presents as a crescent banana-shaped lesion. Secondly, there is something called a subdural bleed, which presents with faded outer lines of the skull, including a bleed in between the dura. And thirdly, a subarachnoid hemorrhage. This CT scan shows as a white area in the center and stretching into the sulcus to either side, marked by this arrow here. Any of these bleeds, if undetected, could potentially be fatal, so it's good to hear Eddie confirm that precautions have been put in place to protect fighters and reduce the chance of damage. However, these are diagnostic methods and don't actually deal with the cause, which is being repeatedly punched in the head. Brain damage can cause degenerative conditions, as boxers are susceptible to something called Parkinson's disease, which is a neurodegenerative disorder, which was seen in the great Muhammad Ali. This is when they develop something called bradykinesia, which is slow movement and reflexes, and inability to walk and talk fluently. That's why you have to respect fighters such as Floyd Mayweather, who have put an emphasis on defense and not getting hit, which can now be seen as he appears to operate cognitively with no issues despite fighting over 50 times. Both KSI and Logan Paul did well to get in the ring twice. Perhaps they may both try and go down the pro boxing route, with KSI already hinting this. I hope this video helps you understand the complexities and dangers behind boxing and why there is such an emphasis on no head guards. This is the end of the video. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any content in the future. Check out our other videos on sports injuries. I've made just over 20, so there's a decent catalogue to look through. Check out my Instagram in the description and comment down below what other fighters or other sports athletes you would like me to cover in the future. Apart from that, I want to say thanks for watching and make sure to subscribe.
Dynasty program initiating.
Dynasty boy. Yeah. Yeah. I had to get out at end, so hopefully I could focus on music fully. So I went back to uni to find out the distraction of being fresh is a triple D amount.